You start with nothing. No name, no corner, no crew. Just hunger. And a city that doesn't know you exist yet. Chicago is loud and cold and completely indifferent to you, and that's fine. That's actually perfect. Because indifference is just opportunity that hasn't been introduced yet. You pull your coat tighter, you watch the street, and you start learning. Every block has a rhythm, every neighborhood has a king, and every king has a blind spot. You just have to find it. The first thing you figure out is that nobody respects broke. Not in this city, not in this era. Respect is a currency, and right now your pockets are empty, but your eyes are full. You watch how the men with money move. Slow, deliberate. Like the sidewalk belongs to them because it does. You watch how the men without money move. Fast, nervous, always checking over their shoulder. You decide right then which one you're going to be. Not someday, now. You make your first deal small, embarrassingly small. A favor here, a handshake there. You're not building an empire yet. You're building a reputation, and reputations start in whispers. Someone needs something moved quietly. You move it quietly. Someone needs a problem handled without paperwork. You handle it without paperwork. Word spreads the way it always spreads in this world. Sideways, through back rooms, through the mouths of people who owe someone a favor. And suddenly, people know your name. Not your full name. Just the first part. That's enough for now. The city starts to feel different under your feet. Streets you used to walk through, you now walk down the center of. Bars that used to ignore you now nod when you walk in. You haven't done anything dramatic yet. You haven't needed to. The groundwork is the dramatic part. Most people just never see it because it happens in the dark. You see it. You built it. Brick by invisible brick. Then the first real test hits. It always does. Someone decides to find out if you're real or if you're just a rumor. They push, not dramatically. Just enough to see what you do. And here's the thing about Chicago, in this moment, in this world, in this particular game. Hesitation is a death sentence. Not literal, not yet, but social, political. The kind of death where you're still breathing, but everyone acts like you're already gone. So you don't hesitate. You respond, measured, clean, decisive. And suddenly the whisper about your name gets a little louder. You hire your first guy, then 2 more, then 5. You're not just a person anymore, you're a structure. A small one, sure, but a structure. There's a difference between a man with ambition and an organization with ambition. A man can be stopped. An organization has to be dismantled. You're not a man anymore. You're a machine that's just starting to warm up. The money starts moving differently now. It's not trickling in, it's flowing. Not a flood yet, but a current. And with money comes the thing money always brings in this world: attention. Some of it good, some of it very much not good. The people above you in the food chain start to notice you. A few of them are impressed, a few of them are threatened. You learn fast that impressed people want to partner with you and threatened people want to remove you, and sometimes the same person is both at the same time. You have to know which version you're talking to on any given day. You get very good at reading rooms. Prohibition hits different when you're on the inside of it. The whole city is thirsty, and the whole city is pretending it isn't, and you are the person holding the glass. Speakeasies are everywhere. Hidden doors in the backs of barbershops, basements under laundries, upstairs rooms above restaurants where the food is terrible, but nobody comes for the food. You supply them all. Not directly, you're smarter than that. You supply the people who supply the people who supply the rooms. You're 2 steps removed from everything, and directly responsible for all of it. That's the architecture of real power. You don't touch the thing. You own the thing that touches the thing. The politicians come next. Of course they do. They always do. They show up with their nice suits and their soft hands and their very specific kind of hunger. The kind that needs to be fed quietly, in cash, in envelopes that never existed. You feed them, gladly. Because a politician in your pocket isn't a corrupt official, it's infrastructure. It's a bridge you built that no one can see. Every vote that goes your way, every case that gets quietly dropped, every raid that somehow misses the address by 3 blocks. That's your architecture working. That's the invisible city inside the visible one, and you are its mayor. You move into a hotel suite and it feels like a statement, because it is. The Lexington, marble floors, room service. A view of a city that is increasingly, undeniably, yours. You sit at the window sometimes, and you watch the lights, and you think about the kid who used to walk these streets with nothing, and you feel something complicated. Not guilt, not exactly pride. Something in between. Something that only exists in people who came from the bottom and built their way up through methods that don't have a clean name. You pour a drink. You don't toast anything. You just drink and you watch and you keep planning. The enemies get bigger as you get bigger. That's the math of this world. Small enemies when you're small. Large enemies when you're large. The North Side is a problem. Always has been. Different philosophy, different methods, same appetite. Two organizations in the same city eating from the same table. Eventually, someone reaches for the same dish at the same time, and then it's not dinner anymore. It's war. And war in Chicago in this decade doesn't look like war. It looks like a car pulling up slowly. It looks like a Valentine's Day. It looks like something that gets into the newspapers and stays there for decades. You don't blink. You don't explain. You move forward. The newspapers are obsessed with you now. Your name is in headlines. Your face is on front pages. They call you Scarface like it's an insult and you wear it like a crown because what are they going to do? Stop writing about you? They can't. You're the story. You are the entire story. Chicago doesn't have news anymore. It has you, and everything else is just the weather. You start to understand what celebrity feels like when it's not chosen, when it's earned through the kind of work that can't be listed on a resume. It feels like pressure, constant, heavy, exhilarating pressure. The feds are watching. They've always been watching, but now they're watching with intention, with resources, with a specific kind of patience that should scare you more than it does. They can't touch the beer. They can't touch the gambling. They can't prove the things they want to prove because your infrastructure is too clean, too layered, too insulated. So they look for the one thing that's always been the undoing of men who think they're untouchable. Not violence, not drugs, not illegal firearms, taxes. The most boring weapon in the history of law enforcement and somehow the most effective one. You've been so focused on the city that you forgot about the paperwork. Everyone always forgets about the paperwork, but right now in this moment, none of that has landed yet. Right now, you are at the absolute peak. The city hums with your name. The money moves because you tell it to. The people who used to ignore you now cross the street to greet you. You walk into a restaurant and the room shifts. You sit down and the whole place rearranges itself around you without anyone saying a word. This is what the top feels like. Not loud, not chaotic. Quiet, heavy. Like standing at the edge of something enormous and looking down and realizing you built the ground you're standing on yourself. You light a cigar. Not because it's a good cigar, it's a great cigar, but because the act of lighting it in a room full of people who are watching you light it is its own kind of language. You take one slow look around the room. Everybody sees it. Everybody understands it. Nobody says anything because nobody has to. And for one perfect, suspended, cinematic second, you are completely untouchable. The knock at the door is very quiet, very polite, almost gentle. It's the IRS.